All right, guys, we got the Dragon Quest Showcase, we got the Sony State of Play, and we got Summer Game Fest. And we have to come together, and we wanted to talk about all this. There's some things that are really, really freaking exciting, and other things that are absolutely not. But before we get into it, Slam, how's it going, homie?
Pretty good, honestly. I haven't been playing a ton of games over the past week, but I've been dipping in and out. I had two babies. I got twins.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
Yay.
Appreciate it. So
twin zanies.
Dad Zany over here. Let's go.
Been a little busy, but I've been dipping in and out of some games. On Dragon Quest Day, it made me want to go back to the HD 2D games. So I started up Dragon Quest 2 HD 2D just to, kind of like a celebration type thing. Like, oh man, all this Dragon Quest excitement. So played a little bit of that. Still going through Tales of Arise, playing that as well on the Switch 2. And I started Mina the Hollower. I'm not very far in Mina the Hollower, maybe an hour. I literally just started that, I think, yesterday. So far, super fun. Love the art style and aesthetic. Love the sound design. I think game slaps. It's a really cool game. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's what I've been playing. And that's what I've been doing. Not sleeping very much still. But what's new? I don't do that anyway.
Sleep, Maxie.
I feel like your sleep schedule has kind of prepared you for all of this in some weird, strange way. But
that's true.
Yeah. Mags, how about you? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I finally started playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Yay! It's about time. I know. And I like it a lot. And I'm so happy.
Look at us.
I know. I'm so happy to report that because there are so many people, you both included, y'all and the Discord and so many friends have been asking me to play this game and hoping that I would like it. And I'm so happy to report that I do. I really have been enjoying it a lot. I'm almost 30 hours in chapter 6. Okay. And I just find that the game pretty quickly addressed all of the issues that I had with Remake. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's just so much more to do. The characters feel more like they're growing together and getting to be themselves. They just have had more room to interact with each other, which I felt like was missing a little bit in Remake, but it's so much better in Rebirth. And there's just a lot more personality in everything from the characters to the world to the NPCs to just the style of everything. So I have been having so much fun. And so, I'm excited to see what comes next. I feel like the story is really picking up. It kind of kicks into full gear right when the game starts. Yeah. So I'm excited to see kind of what comes from that and what additional context is there. Yeah. And the game also just looks really good on Switch 2, which I'm super excited about as well, because I wasn't sure how it was going to perform, but it's a great place to play this game. So if you're wondering about that, don't worry. It performs super well. It's great portably. It's great on TV, and you're able to take it with you. So it's a win. I'm
so tempted to get it. Just the portable, thinking about playing it portably is wild. Mm-hmm.
It's so nice.
I mean, I think it's perfect for a second playthrough for sure. I've played through the game twice already, so it would be a third playthrough for me because I replayed it on PC too. Yeah. I've also dipped into Rebirth a little bit. Shout out to Square Enix for sending over a code.
Yes, thank you. I got one too, so I'm super thankful for that.
And so I did jump in there, and then I also previewed it back when I did my Adventures of Elliot preview. So I've played a few hours of Rebirth on the Switch 2. And it performs really, really well. It's insane having a game of that size and that magnitude on a portable handheld system. It's wild to me. It's honestly crazy. And
you do have to get some sort of external storage though. At least I had to for the Switch 2. I had to finally get a micro SD Express card or whatever they are. I did have to get one for this game, but I think it's worth it. They put a lot of work into the port, and you can tell.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it was worth the investment from them, because there are a lot of folks who are playing it on Switch 2 for the first time like me and having a great time. So it's been a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a confession. Everybody knows how much I hate key cards, but for Final Fantasy Remake and Rebirth, I got the key cards. I actually got 2 of each.
Wow.
Because
you don't want to open it, or?
Well, one, because they have
The
magic cards in there, and like
that's why.
If you have even touched upon the magic card market, it is insane, and Final Fantasy in particular has been stupid. So the fact that they have these key cards with an actual physical value added, but also it's like the only context where it actually is justified in some way. Like, I think I know one of our mods has talked to us about, like, hey, we could still have a setup where you can download the data directly from a cartridge, even if it doesn't fully fit. And I think that would be a more ideal solution. But even within the confines of the cartridge sizes, like, these games are too big. So if there is ever anything that justified it, I feel like these ones, in my mind, I can make sense of it, and they're cheaper. So I'm like, the value is there, right? For me, it's like these key cards that are like, oh, it's a $70 game. And it's just like, okay, no, that's ridiculous. So anyway, I did get those. I don't know if I'm going to dive back in right away, because I am drowning in games right now.
Yeah.
What are you playing?
So I'm actually playing. I've been playing a ton of stuff. So I beat Pocopia. I haven't been able to talk about that on here yet. Yeah, I beat that, and the story went in a direction I wasn't necessarily expecting.
Yeah.
And it's just a fun game. Like, my girls are still playing it as we speak, and especially I have the little Magnemite thing now, so I can go and do everything. So we're still getting through it, but I'm like, I don't feel like I need to play this game anymore. I kind of got what I wanted out of the experience, and it was great. So I beat Pocopia. I'm very close to finishing Dragoon. I know I keep giving these updates, like I'm just kind of getting through it, but I've actually pushed through. I think I'm at the very, very end of disc 3. Because I beat one of the big bads, and we're on our way to go beat this other bigger bad, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be like the climax of the game. So I'm going to be beating that one pretty darn soon, and I have like all my characters have like their maxed editions. Like, we're definitely getting there. So I will beat that one soon, finally. I got Mina the Hollower. I backed that game, so I got the backer code for it. And Mina is like, they did a really great job on this game. Shout outs to that team putting this together, because like it feels very reminiscent of an old Zelda game, but it's very much its own thing. And they've crafted this very interesting difficulty system where you can make it easier for yourself, where, for example, in the beginning, you pick up these bones, which become like your currency. And if you die twice, you'll lose them. You could turn off losing them. You can make it so that bones give you health, or other things give you health, so that you're getting health more often, because you're going to get hit a lot, especially when you just start the game. And they give you the ability to kind of like tweak it. But I've heard from others who have beaten the game that later on in the game, it's like an anti-difficulty curve. Like, it starts hard, and then as you get more powers, it just gets easier and easier, because you can just blast through everything. So the flip side is true as well. If you want to maintain the difficulty from the beginning that you liked, you can do some of those switches as well and make it more difficult for yourself. So it's really cool. Like, I feel like the way they handled choosing your experience is really easy to understand. It's really easy to get into. Frankly, for me, like, I made it a little bit easier. I wanted to get more health because I was dying a lot early on. But I beat the first area, went up this tower, and it was pretty difficult, but it's been pretty cool. And it's been cute, because I have the fan gamer like Mina stuffed animal. And whenever I've played it, the one that Slam's got, whenever I've played it, my 3-year-old's like, Daddy, can I hold Mina while you play? I'm like, sure, baby. Here you go.
So cute.
Yeah. So Mina. And then I started to get through Tales of Berseria as well. So I got Tales of Berseria a while back. I've never beat the game. And I'll be honest with you, when I started it on the Switch 2, I was really unhappy with the way it looked.
Yeah.
And it made me not want to play the game. And it's because the first area, you're in this like what should be this like beautiful village with all of these trees everywhere. And it's very like autumn-esque, which I love. I love that aesthetic. But the way they did the shadows on the trees, you have like, you have the shadows and you could see all the leaves and everything. And on the Switch, it was all pixelated. So it was like hard to look at. Like it looked really, really bad. And I just kind of assumed that would be the rest of the game. And I started to push through it. I took it on a work trip and started playing it more. And I'm glad to say that once I got past that, at least as it stands right now, everything has looked, I don't want to say like amazing. It probably looks better on the PS5, of course, but it looks really good after that. Like it's just that one area. And it's a bummer that that's like the first impression for the entire game. Because it's a really freaking good Tales game.
Yeah, it is.
Like they go places that a lot of other Tales games don't, and it's been really interesting so far. It's been really fun mechanically. Like I'm really getting into it, but I had to push past that first area, which is like the first couple of hours of the game. So if anybody is out there considering Tales of Berseria remastered, and all you have is a Switch, I will say I do think that it's worth picking up.
Boost mode probably helps it too.
Yeah,
I bet it does.
That definitely
helps.
Handheld,
I'm sure it does. Yeah. And maybe at some point they'll have Switch 2 upgrades for these ports.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Because it is the Switch 1 version. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been trying to juggle all of that stuff. All good stuff, all good games. I'm glad at least Pokopia is done. So I can kind of move on. But there's a lot of stuff coming and I'm excited for it. So I'm trying to like clear through some of these things. And I really just want to beat Legend of Dragoon. Like I want to check that off the list. I want to get it done. So I'll finish that up. I probably have like, I'm going to say like maybe 5 hours left at this point. So we'll get through there. We'll do it.
You got this.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. But speaking of all of the new games coming out, shall we dive in?
Let's
do it.
All right. So here's how we want to do this. We want to talk about the showcases. We're going to grade them with A through F scale, and then talk about some of the highlights of the show for us personally. I imagine you're going to have a pretty good idea of the games that we're most excited about, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw in some in there that you don't expect. But let's start with Dragon Quest, because Dragon Quest was it was a short showcase. Maybe this is a spoiler, but I'll just say up front for me, like it was a lot shorter than I expected. I loved some of what we saw, but I had a little bit of the like that's it reaction at the end.
Yeah,
so,
wasn't it like 10 minutes max? Like it wasn't there wasn't a lot there, I guess.
But I will say the intro to the show, when they did like the history and they were playing the music, like the Dragon Quest theme, I don't know, that hit me. Like I was over here like, I love this series. So they got me in the feels a little bit there. But we saw Dragon Quest 12. We saw Dragon Quest Monsters. And I think they also talked a little bit about what's the game? Dragon Quest Smash or Grow or something like that, which is a mobile game.
Smash and Grow.
Yeah.
And then they announced the Switch 2 version of 11.
Dragon Quest 11.
But they didn't do that in the showcase, right? That was after.
No, I think it was revealed before, right?
Yeah, it was revealed like at the same time, basically.
Yeah, it was like
as a news press release type thing.
Yeah, so it was essentially like a part of
with the trailer too.
Yeah, so it just wasn't in like the main video.
Yeah. So basically, the two big things are 12 and monsters. So I don't know, how did you guys? I mean, I'll get to myself, but how did you guys feel about this? And I don't know, was this what you hoped for? Was it?
I'll start off. I would give it a B. I really loved Dragon Quest XII reveal. I know there's like some mixed feelings on it. I think the initial logo reveal we got with like the dark kind of aesthetic would have been interesting. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see what they did with like a darker Dragon Quest, but this new Dragon Quest looks like Dragon Quest, and that's what I want out of Dragon Quest. I just like, and I may be one of those, I may be just like one of those old school Dragon Quest fans that just wants Dragon Quest from Dragon Quest, but I feel like it's the only series for me that does what it does so well. And we get so few like brand new mainline releases. It's been so long since Dragon Quest 11.
It's been a hot minute.
It has been.
I don't want like huge. We already get a ton of experimentation with Final Fantasy from Square. Yeah. I don't want like a huge shift in tone and with a bunch of like weird experimentation that could go completely wrong with Dragon Quest. I want a good kind of like lighthearted aesthetic, turn-based, classic feeling JRPG with like a good story, good memorable characters, dark undertones, large overarching plot with a ton of like really cool side activities. That's what I want out of Dragon Quest. And this looks to
and
be
the exploration, man.
Yes, and the exploration. And we talked about that multiple times on the show, like what makes Dragon Quest so special. Yeah. And this looks to be like, look, we went back to the drawing board. We were like, we recognize what makes Dragon Quest, what makes these games so important to the fan base. And it's not as popular over here as it is over in like Japan, for example. But like when a new mainline Dragon Quest game comes out, like it's like a holiday in Japan. Like people don't go to work.
Yeah.
It's
like
big.
People don't go to school. Like they play Dragon Quest. It's like this huge thing. So I'm so glad that they're not like deviating from that. And I actually really I thought the main character's design was pretty cool. I don't have a huge issue with it. I know like there's been, some back and forth and some people like are not a huge fan, but I like the character designs. I like all of the like kind of little tidbits they put in the trailer for you to kind of think about, like, what does this mean? Is this like a dream scenario? Like, that kind of thing. I love the trailer.
What's funny about the character too is like when he was just in the trailer, like there's something about his eyes that are interesting, but other than that, he looked fine. And then it wasn't until they showed the official art that people were like,
the concept
what's wrong with bro? Is he all right?
Yeah.
He looks exhausted.
Yeah.
He's so tired. Yeah.
I think the only thing that doesn't, I love a new Dragon Quest Monsters reveal too. Like the only thing that doesn't bump it up to like an A for me is that like I was hoping for a little bit more, like a HD 2D reveal of, the next set of games, which would have been cool. But like I was looking forward to maybe a little bit more of here's what's coming like soon, because I don't think we're gonna get Dragon Quest 12 for a while. I don't think it doesn't look like Monsters coming anytime soon. So the thing that's coming soon is Dragon Quest 11 on Switch 2, which I'm excited about because I booted up Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch 2 and it is hideous. It just looks so bad. So I'm like, give me, just give it like, and I have a lower tolerance for like blurriness in my video games. Like if I, like Brandon was talking about how he pushed through Tales of Berseria, I never would have done that. I would have turned it off the second I turned it on and would have never touched it again. Like I can't get past some of that stuff. Like when it reaches a certain level of bad, like I'm not playing it. I'm not doing it. So I would love like they're saying it's like 4K, like 60 or whatever, and it's got like different graphical modes and stuff like that. And the trailer looked really clean. So I'm excited to revisit Dragon Quest XI on the Switch too when it comes out in September, because I know Mags is looking forward to it too so much that she's going to play it instead of Trails in the Sky second chapter.
That was never said or declared, but that's going to be after mentioned.
Resident Evil.
That's going to be after Resident Evil 9.
I don't know where you all are getting these plans for me from, but they're not happening.
Listen, Mags, at this point, the lore has extended to Slam's channel directly. People are commenting on his videos now.
It really
That's crazy. I know. I just can't believe it. But
where's Mags? When is she eating Taco Bell? When is she going to stream Resident Evil 9? What are we waiting for?
Promises. Yeah.
I haven't made any promises.
You promised
so many promises.
So you were going to eat the whole Taco Bell menu.
I did not promise that.
You did. You said I was going to do it, and then you were going to eat one taco.
Yeah. Not even a taco. Unbelievable. One day, y'all. Let us know in the comments below when you think Mag should play Resident Evil 9 and eat the entire Taco Bell menu, because she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
She
will be fine.
I won't die or anything.
Max, what would you give the Dragon Quest Day special showcase thing?
It's okay. You can give it a low. You can give it a low score.
Honest, you can give it a low score.
I'm always honest. I feel like in this,
I know, but you're with two Dragon Quest fans here, so like, don't feel pressure.
So don't, you're not gonna let us down. We know how great it's gonna be.
And I do want to preface this too by just saying I don't have a lot of experience with Dragon Quest games, so whether or not that makes my grade like more or less significant to whoever's watching, like that's totally fine. Like that's
the
fair.
Fact that she's even got to explain this. You can feel the discomfort.
It's gonna be low. She's gonna give it like an F.
Yeah, she's gonna be like F minus. Gonna give it a Z.
No.
Just know that I am now Slamgan Quest 12 in the Discord.
Let the record show.
Let the record show.
Now. Yeah. Yeah, he is. No, I mean, I just wanted to get that out of the way because y'all's opinions on this are probably way more informed. And so that's totally fine. I'd give it a C. Mainly because, like, one,
that's fair.
I agree with some of Slam's points. I think it was a little short. I think it was a little bit disappointing that really what we saw isn't coming out anytime soon. So it just kind of feels like here's just a little bit of stuff, but like we're not giving any specifics on when it's going to release or any other details. Also, like, I understand the excitement behind Dragon Quest XI coming to Switch, but I think it's pretty dumb that it's a key card. I also find it kind of dumb that there's no upgrade path, which sucks.
Yeah,
I just feel like that's really just not a great move because
let's talk about that for a second, because like I don't want to like continue beating this drum, but like Square Enix has been, I love Square Enix. We all know that here. Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, like all these franchises. But like the decisions that Square Enix has been making recently with some of these Switch 2 editions have been baffling to me. Like, I don't understand why you would ever try to force a key card, which your audience doesn't want. Like, I know some people have just come to terms with key cards, but like JRPG enthusiasts are probably the most likely to be physical collectors of anybody else in the gaming space.
Yep.
So you're already giving them a garbage solution, and then you're forcing them to take that garbage solution or go digital by not giving an upgrade path for those of us who already bought the game on Switch. Like, it just feels so gross. And that really put me off on that announcement. Like, I'm not excited about that announcement at all. And 11 is one of my favorite games on the Switch, period.
Yeah.
But like,
I think it's a huge missed opportunity. And it's also just very inconsistent. Like, the way that they've handled like upgrade paths in general is very inconsistent. Like, Tactics had one. Like, you could get the Switch version of Final Fantasy Tactics and upgrade it to Switch 2, no problem. But like Octopath Zero didn't have one. Dragon Quest XI doesn't have one. I don't know what is the strategy here? At least like keep it the same if you're going to do it a certain way. So that brought it down a little bit for me personally. And honestly, just to be completely transparent, I've only played like Dragon Quest XI is the only one that I've played, and I didn't finish it. And I don't know if what I saw from 12 is going to hook me. But granted, we didn't see a lot. I didn't love the protagonist design, didn't hate it, but I think the female character we saw, I thought her design was a lot better. So I'm more intrigued about her, at least for now. But I will say that the trailer in general does kind of give you a few nuggets about what the like overarching story is going to be about. And that part was interesting. So I'm willing to look into it more as more information comes out and give it a try. I just don't know if like for me personally, Dragon Quest is like the experience that's going to always draw me in.
Sure.
But I'm willing to give 12 a chance. And I was a little disappointed too that they kind of reverted back to the Dragon Quest style. But saying that as someone who's not like a longtime fan, I think it was the right move. Because you don't want to alienate your most loyal fans who expect a certain precedent from Dragon Quest. So I totally understand the point there. For me personally, I thought it would be kind of interesting to see a different direction, but I understand why they didn't do it. So that's kind of where I'm at on everything.
I think I don't remember if this was rumor or if they outright said this, but at some point the conversation was Dragon Quest 12 was going to not only be darker, but they were going to potentially move into action.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a good idea.
This is no longer Dragon Quest.
A Dragon Quest game.
Yeah,
it's not.
So I'm really glad on that front. I'm really glad that they decided to stick to their guns because, again, like Slam said, Final Fantasy already has kind of an identity crisis right now.
Right.
Dragon Quest does not need that identity crisis.
No,
you have your fan base. You can bring people into the fan base, but like, we all know what a Dragon Quest game is. If you've played a Dragon Quest game, they're going to be different. There's different things about it. They can tweak things and make things better. But like there is a core experience expectation. And I'm really glad that they decided not to go in that direction. I'd still be interested.
What would you give it, Brandon?
I honestly... I'd give it like a B minus.
Okay,
I don't know if
I don't know if I'd give
it. Yeah, I don't know if I'd give it a C, but I'd give it a B minus. And so number one, again, the Dragon Quest XI thing, like that just, I'm saying it nicely right now, but that makes me angry. Like not just like, oh, that sucks. Like this is messed up. You're basically like, hey, anybody who wants an actual physical copy, well, too bad because we're not even going to let you upgrade. So. That being said, I'm like, I still think you should just get the Switch version if you care about physical at all. So that's gross, but it also colors my excitement for 12. I am super hyped for 12. Everything I saw for 12, I was excited about. I love the way the world looked. It was beautiful. I love the way the characters looked. Like it looked like everything I wanted from a Dragon Quest 12 game. But now I, as a physical collector, I'm like, this is going to be a key card. This is going to be a freaking key card. And there's going to be no way to physically own this game. And so I don't like Square Enix. If you are ever listening to this, I don't think you guys realize how much these decisions impact how people think about your brand and future projects that you're coming out with. Like it is having a negative impact. Somebody has to have that conversation internally because this is wild. Does that mean I'm not going to play 12 when it comes out? I mean, we'll see. But I can say, again, you're taking me, one of your biggest fans, from going to a day one play to a we'll see when we get there. Right. So and that's not the kind of thing that you want from your fan base.
I agree with you. The key card thing is a problem. And I think, I mean, the amount of games that are releasing that aren't key cards at this point are few and far between. I think I only own like 3 Switch 2 games.
There are more though. Let me just interject and say that there are a lot of even smaller publishers that are stepping up and doing it.
The smaller ones are typically doing it,
and
but
so,
a lot of the bigger ones
I'm sorry,
aren't.
but Bluey's quest for the golden pen being fully on cartridge, like, come on, Square Enix.
Yeah. So I just like, there's no reason why it has to be this way.
Yeah.
Is all I'm trying to say.
No, I agree. But what I am saying, and back to like one of Brandon's points, you are part of there is a large group of people that are physical collectors, and it like has a really big influence and impact on how you feel and your excitement for a game. for me, my excitement for physical collecting and the game itself are completely separate. So,
sure. Well, and let me make myself clear. Let me make myself clear. It's not just the collecting. Like I'm saying, I'm a physical collector, so that matters to me. For me, the reason it impacts me is because I want to own the crap I buy. Like, too many things in this world right now are too expensive, and you don't own anything. Like all the freaking streaming services we have, like all of these things, like the subscription model is all over the business world. Like I'm in a lot of that stuff, and it's so anti-consumer and sketchy, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And so when you're only giving me an option for something I know is basically just a license, I know I don't own it, there's no way to own this. We're now entering a world where my favorite games for my favorite franchises are no longer ownable. And that's the thing that makes me upset and makes me irritated, right? Like, again, if the value is there, if you can make it valuable in some way, like I said, Rebirth and Remake, like having some physical piece there that adds value to it, it makes it worth owning. That's different. And again, like there are also other justifications for that, and they lower the price. But like the reality is, when Dragon Quest 12 comes out, it's going to be presented as a new game. It's going to be full price, which at that time, who knows, $70 probably minimum. And the likelihood of it being something that I can never own, because it is a Switch 2 game, there will not be any way of owning this. I mean, I guess it's PS5, right? If it's PS5 on the disc.
It will be.
It's just one of these things where I'm like, I think the thing I'm constantly frustrated about with this situation is the Nintendo Switch 2 is the platform that I want to play these games on. I want to own these games for. Like if Nintendo never had key cards as a solution, my PS5 library would be so much smaller. I would not be supporting Sony for almost any release. Like, I would be all in on the Switch and the Switch 2 ecosystem. No question, because I much prefer that console. So it's just, I mean, we've covered some of this stuff before, but it just leaves me like disappointed and frustrated, and I hate the idea of not being able to own the games that I play but still paying them full price to do it, right? So that's why for me it's like, hey, if you decided to be like, hey, Dragon Quest 12 is coming out, we're not going to give you a truly physical option that you can own, but it's a $50 game, then I'd be like, done, no question, I'm in. Like, digital $50 for Dragon Quest 12, heck yeah, here we go. But that's not the game we're playing these days, right? And that's what gets me. So anyway.
No, but yeah, what I was saying though, like, I do understand what you're saying. Like, I'm not going to collect these games that are key cards. I just don't buy them. There's no point in me buying them. But I'm not as big into physical collecting as you or a lot of the people in that community are. So, and for me, I come from a background where like I played a ton of PC games. I'm very used to just having a digital library. Like for a long time, I had a PS5 with no disk drive. Like I never really had an issue like buying my games digitally. And there was a long period of time where I didn't buy any games physically at all. Like when I lived in New York City, I just didn't have room for collecting anything. So I was just like, it's just more convenient for me to like not have anything on a shelf or anything. So I just bought everything digitally. So I've like kind of just like gotten used to it. That doesn't make it okay. I don't think key cards, like there's no real point in them existing, in my opinion. And that's why I really don't buy them. But it doesn't deter from my excitement for said game. It's not going to keep me from playing said game. Like if I want to buy, like if I want to play Dragon Quest VII Reimagined or whatever, for example, on the Switch 2, and it is a game key card, I'm not going to buy it physically. I'm going to get it digitally, and I'm going to play it on the Switch 2. And to me, it just the way it is doesn't make a huge impact on me. But I understand where you're coming from, Brandon.
Yeah, and again, like it's not that I won't, it's not that I refuse to play 12 if it comes out in this, but I what I'm saying is like when announcements like this happen and they're making decisions like they make with Dragon Quest 11, like it does put a damper on things for me. Like I would be way more excited if I had confidence that they weren't pulling this crap anymore, right? And all it would take is one game. If Dragon Quest 12 came out and it was a legit cartridge, like that would restore my faith so quickly. I'd be like, this is a new release. Square Enix is getting it. Let's freaking go. Like, I'm all in. I'm going to hype this up. Like, I'm so excited. But that kind of excitement gets dampered because I'm like, I am watching you make anti-consumer moves here that are really stupid and unnecessary when I'm seeing, again, companies like, I don't know, is it Microids that did the Bluey game, which shout outs. I forgot to mention I've been playing that with the girls too. This Bluey game, like, it's a full cartridge and it's like, you know, whatever, $40-$50 or something like that. And it's just like, come on, like this is becoming nonsense. But
there are a lot of smaller publishers who've done it, which just makes it even more ridiculous. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, setting all of that aside, I am excited about Dragon Quest 12. Dragon Quest Monsters was low-key way more exciting for me than I expected because it is based on Dragon Quest V. And Dragon Quest V is like one of the best Dragon Quest games in the entire series, in my opinion. Like, it is this epic game where you have like eras where you have characters that get married and then there's children and you go on like it's like a family adventure. And you have these characters that you can choose from, the marriageable options where you have like Bianca, Nera, and I think it's Deborah. And so when they showed Bianca and Nera as the main characters of this game, I was like losing my mind because I love that the Dragon Quest Monsters games are starting to become branches of the main games because the last Dragon Quest Monsters was also related to Dragon Quest IV. So I'm so pumped about this. I am so excited. I love the Dragon Quest Monsters games. They're super fun. They're super addicting. Having it connected to Dragon Quest V is super awesome. So that was unexpected. That being said, I really, really hoped to see Dragon Quest IV HD 2D remake at least hinted at. So
being like it's coming even.
Yeah.
Cool,
yeah.
But
I think
even just like a logo or something.
I think the fact that we didn't get anything for some of those made it a little bit more disappointing. And that's why I said earlier, I kind of looked at it like, okay, this is great, but that's it. Like you guys were coming out with those remakes like year after year after year. We could see it. Where's 4? You guys have hinted at it already. We've talked about it already. So I don't know. That was a weird miss for me. And I thought about whether or not I think we're going to see them again in any of these other showcases, but it wouldn't make any sense, right? Like, why would you have a Dragon Quest IV announcement outside of the Dragon Quest showcase, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, overall, I'd say B minus. Like I was happy with what I saw, but I could have got more from that, I think.
State of play time.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we have the state of garbage. Just kidding. Maybe. Slam.
We'll see.
How do you feel about this? We want to start with you, buddy. I know you're so excited about this particular showcase.
I mean, like, I kind of hate that you started with me. All right.
Oh
no. I want to preface this with I like PlayStation. I play probably most of my games. I want to say like probably 70+% of my gaming is on my PlayStation 5 Pro. Okay. I enjoy my PlayStation and I've long enjoyed many first party PlayStation games ever since I was a wee baby. Okay.
A wee lad.
And so I think the general state of Sony and PlayStation in right now is rough for me for a few reasons. One, I think it's kind of hard to identify what a Sony first party title is right now. When you look at Nintendo, for example, and you kind of get a good idea of what their lineup is, right? Like, you got Mario, you got Zelda, you got like the kind of games that come from a Nintendo first party. You've got a large like variety of different types of games. Like you've got a tactics game with Fire Emblem, you've got action adventure stuff from Zelda, you've got platformers and all the different variations of things that you'll get from Mario. But with PlayStation, we've gotten what I feel is a lot of like different variations of like the same thing. So I've been playing Saros a lot lately, third person kind of like roguelike shooter. You got The Last of Us, you got Uncharted, now you've got Spider-Man, you got Wolverine, you've got a ton of God of War games. But like I feel like Sony isn't doing a lot of the experimenting and variation in their first party lineup that they used to do on like PS1, PS2, and even PS3. And right now we're just like getting a lot like Insomniac is a crazy good studio that has put out some really cool stuff during their lifestyle. Even before Sony purchased Insomniac, they were putting out just really cool experimental titles and doing 3 Spider-Man games if you count Miles Morales, and then following that up with Wolverine. It's just like, okay, like this. And looking at the Wolverine trailer, I saw like a lot of animations that looked like Spider-Man. I saw a lot of ideas that they used in Spider-Man in Wolverine. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of unfortunate. And then closing out the state of play that we saw last time, which I believe was earlier this year, with 3 God of War remaster announcements and a 2D God of War side scroller. And then closing out this one with like a God of War spinoff. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to play it. I'm going to like it. I enjoy God of War. But Sony Santa Monica is Sony's biggest, most established, and probably most talented first party studio. They could do anything. Like you like, I don't feel like you need to have them only do God of War. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like that's the only thing they want to do. But I find it hard to believe that they don't have ideas or haven't pitched ideas that aren't God of War. Like they haven't gone to Sony and been like, hey, we want to do like, here's like 3 or 4 different games we want to do. And I'm like, if I'm a fly on the wall in there, which I'd love to be, I wouldn't put it past Sony to be like, but can you do this, but like make it a God of War game? And I just don't like that. I just want to see more variation. I want to see more experimentation. I want to see like these talented studios do really cool and unique things. And I will give one example of them doing that with Naughty Dog and them letting Naughty Dog kind of do that. So Naughty Dog started with Uncharted, did a few Uncharted games. Then they moved to The Last of Us, which was quite different. Still a third person kind of like action game, but like it was structured very differently. The tone and the story all very different. And then now they're doing Intergalactic, which looks completely off the wall, like nothing they've ever done before. And I would just like to see them like have their other studios do that kind of experimentation and give that level of freedom and creativity to those studios. Because again,
but you also got to remember Naughty Dog also remastered The Last of Us like 30 times before they moved on to Intergalactic.
Several times.
I hear you, but also like Sony's been doing weird things with
really
them too.
Milking their IPs. That, like what you said, they really are doing that.
And playing is safe. Just like I think it's just a product of them not wanting to take risks.
Exactly.
Like that's why they just keep doing the same types of games from their first party studios.
Yeah.
I don't think that they want them to do something that's not a safe bet. which God of War and Marvel games are always going to be a safe bet. Every single time.
Unless it's Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently.
Yeah.
Which was a great game, by the way, and it just
died
on impact.
Totally underrated.
Third party, though. Like, that wasn't Insomniac. So,
yeah.
But it was Marvel.
Different. It was Marvel. I'm just saying from their
Guardians
first
of the Galaxy,
perspective.
Everybody. He's not wrong.
Underrated gem. It was amazing.
Right.
I think that like all of that is to say that these games are all still good. Like Wolverine's going to be great. I'm going to love it. I'm going to play it and I'm going to enjoy it. The new God of War game looks fun. It looks good. I'm going to play it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a good time. But I mean, Sony's kind of like at the top right now, like, or at least have been recently. In turn, like Nintendo is definitely like
they're at the top, with console
Switch,
sales at this point. I don't know.
With
I don't know how long
sales.
Sony's going to be.
But they're not competing in the same way. Don't you remember Sony saying that Nintendo's not luxury?
Not
Did they say that?
They are so
when there was all the
Microsoft
Sony court stuff going on. When Microsoft was trying to purchase, what was the studio? Activision, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Then they were in the courts, and like Nintendo came up, and they were like, "Oh, we're not really competing with Nintendo because they're not luxury gaming." And it was like, "Shut up! You guys are getting your butt kicked by the Switch right now."
They are.
And they're going to continue because the Switch 2 is going to take a lot of that third-party stuff away.
At the top, I wasn't really meaning console sales. I was meaning like of the like performance wise in terms of like consoles, what they're capable of outputting from like a performance standpoint.
Sure.
Like the PS5 Pro can do just about like most of the stuff you want to do with a console. There's not hardware limitations there. So like the studios should have like a little bit of creative freedom, I think. And so I want to see more of that, really. And we haven't even seen really a ton of first party output from Sony on the PS5, we just haven't. With Nintendo, for example, you see like a good steady first party output where you're seeing like a first party game come out almost every single month of the year. And Sony's just not doing that, and that's unfortunate. But getting back to the state of play itself and what I thought of it, I would probably give it a C. Because we didn't, and we'll get to SGF later, we didn't have a lot of surprises, maybe any. This God of War game that they showed off was a rumored thing.
It was.
For a bit. Wolverine has been shown multiple times. I think the only surprise from the whole showcase, and it is a good one, I'm excited for this one, it's Until Dawn 2.
That was
which is totally a Mags game. She's going to live stream that right after.
The amount of Mags games in this showcase was wild. We were watching this in the Discord chat, which by the way made this show way more interesting for all of us here. And the amount of times people were saying, "This is a Mags game. This is a Mags game. This is a Mags game."
I just want to make this clear to people who are watching this show that aren't in our Discord or might be new.
Yeah, maybe new to the show.
I don't play horror games, and so now every time a horror game is shown, it's automatically a Mags game. But that's not the case. Don't believe them.
Yeah, she definitely loves horror games.
No, but
I just didn't. I like a lot of these games. Look, some of these games in here are going to be for someone.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
And I'm not saying any of these games are bad. I'm excited for like Phantom Blade Zero. I'm definitely going to play Wolverine. That game looks like a lot of fun, and I like what Insomniac does. I'm going to play Onimusha. I'm going to play the Tomb Raider game. But these are all games that have been shown before. We've seen them before. We've heard about them before. We know quite a bit about them. I'm pretty sure there have been like preview demos of a lot of these, like where people have had the chance to go hands-on with these games. So like these, there's not a lot of surprise here. There's not a lot of like, oh man, I can't believe they showed that. There's like none of that at this event except the God of War like 20-minute gameplay trailer to close it out. And again, we closed out with God of War following the last state of play that also closed out with God of War. So we're going back to 2018 where we had the God of War kind of reboot. Then we had God of War Ragnarok. Then they're announcing the God of War remakes. They had a 2D side-scrolling God of War with Ghost of Sparta, I think it was. And then now they've got a God of War spinoff. I just think it's a lot of God of War. So there's a little fatigue there for me.
Yeah.
Not saying that God of War is bad in any way. I would like a little bit more variation in there from them. So for me, it gets a C. Would have liked more surprises. And I'm a JRPG guy, and there were no JRPGs.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. Like, this is a JRPG podcast, so like, let's not pretend. Yeah,
we might be a little biased on that front because, like, between the three of us, we probably play like 90% JRPGs.
Yeah,
and there were no JRPGs there. So a lot of the stuff that was shown here was for someone, but it wasn't for us. So like,
yeah.
Also understand that if you're new here.
Yeah, if you like shooters, if you like brains, if you like gore and bones, then maybe you enjoyed this one. Yeah. Like Mags. Anyway, Mags, what's your A plus?
No, because I'm not a fan of horror games. All respect to people who are. Please don't.
I love horror games, actually. So.
Don't get me wrong.
Thank you for the respect, Max.
But they're not for me. They're just not for me. And honestly, most of the games, I don't think so.
Just let them.
I don't think so. I tried The Last of Us. Okay, I've tried. Couldn't handle the clicker sound coming through the controller. That freaked me out. That was not it. Not for me.
Creepy.
Anyway, most of the games at this presentation weren't for me. And obviously that's going to be a subjective thing, no matter like what showcase it is. But I kind of tend to agree with a lot of what Slam said, whereas like there weren't a lot of surprises. A lot of this was just extended looks at games that we already knew about. And that just along with not having a lot of interest and just kind of seeing Sony kind of do the same things over and over again, I would probably give it a C-. Because honestly, there's just not a lot there for me. And this is a subjective grading scale.
Yeah.
I do think Wolverine looks cool. I'm a huge Marvel fan.
Definitely
and I do admit that like when I saw some of the other X-Men in the trailer, I was excited. I mean, I think that's really cool. I think the new God of War game looks great, and I love that they're taking it in a direction with the female protagonist, no matter how mad the weirdos on the internet get about that. I think it's really cool. I think it's great to feature female leads in franchises that have never had them before. I mean, God of War has always been Kratos. And like, that's fine. It's fine if you want Kratos to be the lead and have his story be told, but it is cool to mix it up and offer a different perspective, especially one of a character that's really close to him and has had a lot of significance and is just now getting to tell her story.
And to be fair,
that's cool.
Story has a lot of potential.
Yes, I think so.
Based on some of the other things that have happened in previous games. I just think there needs the IP needs space.
Yeah,
like,
I think so.
You know what I'm saying? But there's potential there for that to be really, really interesting.
Yeah. And so I don't have an issue with like what they announced. I just don't feel like there was a huge variety. And I also just think there could have been more surprises, like you were saying, Slam. And just in general, I feel like I just don't have a lot of reasons to play my PS5. And I would like for them to have more variety that could reel me back in personally. And I just don't see that right now. I do want to highlight one thing though. I thought the Bancho the Chef game looked really cool.
Yeah, let's go.
That was like the most
interesting
thing to me.
Yeah,
that's gonna be everywhere though. We're all gonna be playing that.
It will be, and like, yeah. I just I do want to highlight that like that game looked cool, and I just wish that there were more things like that, or just more things that had a different vibe.
Yeah,
because I felt like there was just a lot of the same. And maybe that's just me like not vibing with a lot of it, but like I kind of wanted a little more variety.
Remember the state of play where they announced the Evil East Chronicles and Octopath Traveler 0 in the same show? That was a good one.
And do you remember? I mean, the last one had Brigandine Abyss and that new RPG from Konami. So I feel like there's like certain things they could have highlighted, but it was just like a lot of horror, a lot of action and adventure, and
it was just a lot of the same stuff we've already seen.
Yeah,
and that's disappointing.
It just could have had more variety.
Sony hasn't really Sony hasn't first party really like come back to RPGs the way that they used to back in the day.
And that's what I meant when I felt like they were all kind of like piggybacking off of each other a little bit. Where they're all like kind of a little similar, but like lacking. I can't even think of the word for it. Like maybe like true identity between the first party studios. Where you're like, oh, that's a Naughty Dog game, that's a Sony Santa Monica game, or that's you know what I'm saying. I mean, maybe identity is not the right word for it, but like I just feel like there's a little bit of an issue with like their first party roundup now.
Yeah, they need more variety in their lineup for sure. I am going to play devil's advocate a little bit here, so I'd probably give the showcase a C. I don't think it deserves much more than that. For me personally, as an RPG fan, that being said, like I think to be fair to some of these studios, one of the challenges that we run into is this sort of like weird balance that we have nowadays where, yes, we need more variety. But if you have a good franchise, there aren't that many franchises that can pull off having regular releases anymore. Especially when they have these like stupidly massive budgets and long development cycles.
That's true.
So like when I think about, I'll start at the end with God of War Laufey. First of all, like this is not for, I don't think our audience is going to be these types of people. So I'm probably just like preaching to the choir here, but like I understand when people get frustrated. I'm not saying I agree, but I understand when people get frustrated when you have an IP where the only thing you've done is a gender swap. And there's no meaningful like lore or reason behind the new characters. It's just doing it for the sake of doing it. Like, okay, I can hear that. I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying I can understand. This is not that. Like Laufey is a character in God of War. She had a massive impact on the story. Like she already has characteristics that are in the story and the lore of the game. And this is like an extension of the God of War games in a way that makes sense from a lore standpoint, from a character standpoint. Like they're not making Kratos a woman. Like this is an established character in the game,
and they're not creating a new character to like just
they're not crapping on Kratos either, which also happens sometimes where they're like, hey, new lead, let's make the other one look like garbage. That's not happening, right? This is a legitimate outing for the God of War series with a protagonist that makes sense and is awesome, and it makes sense that she's awesome because of already established lore, right? Like I don't know why I have to even say these things, but apparently you do these days because people are getting upset and it's stupid and doesn't make sense. I was excited about this. I think it looks really, really cool. I think it's an interesting take on the story that they're already telling. And I love when you have an established story. I love when you get different perspectives and a different way of looking at what's going on. So I personally was like super into this. And what's funny is I saw some stupid tweet, and again, I'm probably just responding to rage bait at this point. Like I don't know if this is I don't know if this is like a legitimate thing or not, but someone said something along the lines of like, oh, they just ruined God of War because, God of War is this like male power fantasy and you just want to be blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know. First of all, that's dumb. But second of all, when I was watching this as a dude, I was like, if you touch my girl again, like I'm going to rip your head off. Like my like male aggression was being triggered in watching this trailer the same way that God of War does that, like the standard God of War series. So anyway, I don't feel like I actually need to address these things, but I thought that this looked really, really cool. And
it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good game. It's Sony Santa Monica. It's going to be top notch.
Right.
The production quality is going to be next level.
Yeah.
It's going to look gorgeous, and the storytelling, the writing, and everything is going to be great. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
This is going to be nominated for Game of the Year it comes out. Another disappointing thing about it, though, is like they showed like 20 minutes of gameplay and not even a release window, not even a release year.
Fair. Yeah, that's rough.
We have no idea when this thing is coming. And now in today's day and age, I feel every time I see that happen, this could end up being something 6-7 years from now where we're like, whatever happened to that slice of game or whatever we saw that looks so cool, and nobody's heard from it again, because that's happened so many times. So
especially with Sony.
So I feel like that's unfortunate as well.
But I am excited. Also, the cube is like hilarious and doesn't make any sense. But the fact that there was like a battle sequence where the cube came in and like smashed an enemy just made me happy. So pretty down for that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I do want to see more about it, but I was like legitimately like, oh crap, like they showed up for this one, especially with the length of that trailer. Wolverine, I'm super excited about, but I am kind of with you, Slam. Like, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the lore and the characters it can have in this game. But again, like Insomniac used to do a lot more than this. So it does feel like we're kind of losing that variety. But again, to be fair, like if it works, it works. And they're able to deliver it on a relatively consistent basis.
Insomniac has been the one first party studio that's been carrying the PS5, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they've released a lot of great games.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that game, I'm super, I already have it pre-ordered. I'm super excited about that one. I think some other like Control Resonant looks like it's going to be a really great game. I don't know if it's going to be for me, but I know the first Control was like a big hitter. Yeah. And this one's been everywhere.
It'll be great.
So seeing that was cool, but it wasn't new.
It wasn't a surprise. It's like the third trailer we've seen. And actually the SGF trailer we just saw was 10 times better.
Yeah.
So,
and Bancho the Chef for me was the only thing where I was like, oh, what is this? And I was like actually surprised. And
for me, that was Until Dawn 2. And that's like the first party saving grace for me here, where I'm just like, okay, Sony's still got some things in their pocket like that they can really surprise us with. And Until Dawn was a fun time, and I love horror movies. I love like horror games and stuff like that. So
just like Mags,
just like Mags. Yep. She's the one who got me into them.
What? That's not true, dude.
Yeah,
but no, Until Dawn 2 looks sick. So I can't wait to play that. I will play that. And I'm excited for it. And that was probably my favorite announcement.
Except for Dynasty Warriors 3 remastered, because I know you love.
I love Muso games. I don't. Stop it. I will not be playing that.
See, now you know how I feel.
No, he loves them just as much as Mags loves the horror games. So
exactly.
I mean, like, let's just be real.
So you must like them a lot, Slam.
I don't know if I'm going to admit to that.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel so good, does it?
Oh, doesn't feel so good, does it?
There was another. So RuneScape Dragon Wilds was another one that was kind of unexpected. Like just seeing RuneScape again in general was like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Blast from the past.
Rayman looked cool, but like I've always been.
Like I've always been like a
Rayman
one of those things.
Adjacent guy. Like I had friends that were into Rayman. And I'm like, oh,
same.
Cool, Rayman, but I'm probably not. That's not got much interest for me. Always love seeing more Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's cool.
Looks good.
Looks good. But yeah, I think that was kind of it. Like honestly, it was like Wolverine. Nothing. Oh, that's interesting. Nothing. Okay, maybe nothing. And then God of War. And it was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So, yeah, the not having any JRPGs, like being a JRPG fan, I'm just like, kind of an show. Like, if I'm being completely honest, C might be too high for me personally. It's just hard for me to go lower. I feel like if I say it's a D, that sounds too harsh.
That's why I said C-.
Yeah, but I'm just like, I didn't walk away from the show having very much hype about the future of Sony at all. It was just kind of like, yeah. So unfortunately, I do have a use for my PS5, and it's because I have a use for my PS5 for third parties that have freaking key cards on the Switch too. Anyway, so let's jump over to Summer Games Fest, because that was a lot hotter than it had any right to be, and maybe one of the, in my opinion, spoilers, one of the strongest showings from Keighley.
I think so. I don't think it's just you. I think this might be the best show he's put together.
Yeah. And he's shout outs to the guy. Like, we've given him a lot of crap over the years, but he's been taking feedback and he's been figuring it out. And I feel like he showed up. He showed up with this. So
yeah,
Slam, I'm going to start with you again, buddy. Where are you at with this one?
This is an A++++. Like, if I had to get it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 10. Like, I think he nailed it. And I don't know. And I don't know how he's going to top this for the Game Awards or whatever he does next, because just the show flow, the pacing, this is a 2-hour show. And I felt very few like lulls where I was just like, oh, this is really boring, or this is just a bunch of ads. This is just a bit of garbage thrown in there. Even the ads were like relevant to the show material. Like, we got Nintendo Switch 2 sizzle reels of games that were coming or about to launch or have just recently launched on the Switch 2. And since Nintendo wasn't there, that's very relevant information for people that are looking for that kind of thing. And maybe have not watched a Nintendo Direct since September. So
there hasn't been a main one since then.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Where you at, Nintendo?
I think it was really good. The opening, amazing. The closing, the best thing since sliced bread. And we love sliced bread here.
And we love it. Sandwiches.
Sandwiches?
Yeah.
Dude, what kind of sandwiches do you like?
Meatball subs and love me some BLTs. You know
Italian
what I'm saying?
Italian
subs, Cuban
subs.
You know,
from Jersey Mike's is pretty good.
Jersey Mike's, let's go.
Yeah, listen, we like PB and J's are delicious.
PB and J's, dude, are classic.
Man,
classic.
Have you ever crunched up jalapeno chips and put them on a sub sandwich?
Dude, I do that all the time.
You see
I thought
how
it was
much
the only
we
one.
love? Why? Like, do you see how much and why we love? Like, why we love sliced bread so much?
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. 10 out of 10 sliced bread.
Yeah.
You should try it sometime. Anyway, back to the show. Opening, closing, remarkable. The middle had some parts where it's like, yeah, a couple things have to be here, like, but there's so many good things here. We'll get to Final Fantasy VII Part 3. Obviously, I feel like there's going to be an extended conversation there, but opening with Resident Evil Code Veronica, that was like probably my favorite Sega Dreamcast game. And remaking that, oh man, when I saw that, I was like, yes, like, let's go. You have set the tone for this showcase, and I am so excited. Cuphead, like side scroller, plus the announcement of a new Cuphead game. Hyped for that. Alien Isolation 2. I loved Alien Isolation 1. It's the only Alien game that I actually really enjoyed. Loved the look of the sequel. Gen Atlas, another one from the Shadow of the Colossus. Folks, so the creator of that game, this game looks like a lot of that, which is great. Can't wait to play that. Platinum Games is making a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Last Ronin game. There's Gundam Rogue Orbit, looks sick. Like, Guild Wars 3 was announced. Okay. One of the ads was, I'm like, oh, maybe I can like go get something to eat or like a drink or something. And I look and it's Mafia the Old Country. And I'm like, I love that game. And I think it's just an ad for that game. But it's the announcement of an expansion for that game. So I'm like hyped for that. Right. Yeah. And then you've got a Star Wars Tactics game. Like, Monster Hunter Wilds expansion, even the Attack on Titan game looked kind of sick. Right? I mean,
oh yeah, no, I love those. I played the first 2 Attack on Titan games, and they were so much fun. So I'm with you.
My second favorite announcement besides Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 was Stellar Blade Blood Rain. I'm always hyping up Stellar Blade on the show. Like, I'm constantly mentioning how much I love that game. And this one showed out. It looks incredible. It looks so good. I cannot wait to play that. Summer Games Fest, incredible. Amazing showcase.
Yeah, dude. It was really freaking good. Let's go. Mags, how are you feeling about it? She's like, F.
No, come on.
She likes Rebirth now. She played it before the showcase.
I know. If I hadn't, I'd feel like my grade would be lower.
I'm not really into Final Fantasy VII Remake, but now
I'm in.
We got her.
They got me.
She doesn't hate Final Fantasy anymore, folks. You heard it here first.
I never hated Final Fantasy in general.
Resident Evil.
She hated Final Fantasy, but now she loves it.
I feel bad for the people who are like watching us for the first time. They are going to have such a warped opinion of me. Please know that I don't hate Final Fantasy, and I never have.
She hated it.
Loves Resident Evil.
So,
yeah.
She's not a fan of Resident Evil.
Sam's like, I'm going to keep slipping this in here.
Okay, so back to the show before this gets even more off the rails. No, I would give it an A. I mean, like I said, I think this is the best show that Jeff has put together. And it's clear that he took feedback into account, because I think the biggest issues that people had with his previous shows is that there were too many ads. And they just kept happening with such a frequency while watching the show that like it ruined like the pacing, and like it just felt very like long. Yeah, it felt very anti-consumer too. Yeah. And it really like made it feel, like you said, like long and dragging. So there were less ads. The closing game was actually worthy of that spot. I mean, and it wasn't just a trailer. It was like 4 trailers, and then like interspersing that with like people on stage talking about the game. Matt Mercer was there. He voices Vincent. He's talking about Final Fantasy VII Revelation.
Dreaming like, about it right now.
It was just such a cool way to end the show. And I feel like that's kind of like, that's the moment you have to nail in shows like this. Like, obviously everything that comes before it is important, but like everyone is watching that like one last thing you're going to do. And if you don't get that right, a lot of it is going to be like spoiled. Like the stuff that came before it is not going to be looked at as kindly if the end of the show isn't good. Like that's just how it goes with these events. Like we all know you save the best for last. And so
when he said now time for the final chapter, I was like, all right, let's go. This is it.
Also, if you listen back to like Hamaguchi is there and he's just like, Tifa's conflict is far from over. And this was when the Street Fighter announcement was happening. When he said that, I'm like, oh, that's the last thing. I was like, he didn't say that for no reason. So they were like really having fun with it too, which was cool. Yeah. Like we all knew it was going to happen.
All interwoven.
Yeah, it was planned out so well and executed so well. Like that's why, I mean, that's one of the big reasons why this show was so good is they nailed that final announcement, and it was everything it needed to be. And as far as things leading up before it, like I'm not a horror fan, but opening with a Resident Evil game that no one knew existed.
And she loves Resident Evil.
She loves it. Yeah. Let the record show.
I don't, but I thought the announcement was great. I felt like that was a good way to get into the show. And then, I mean, everything that we saw, there was such a huge variety. There was a Hot Wheels game. There's Monster Hunter.
Oh my gosh, the Hot Wheels game though, for real.
Too. PAL World 1.0, which was weird. It looked great until we found out it was PAL World, and then we were like, "Oh, that's a little deflating."
It was. That wasn't a great part of the show, but like, The Wolf Among Us 2 was huge. Like, I played the original game several years ago, and I love Telltale games. I know people have mixed feelings about like the narrative structure and how they go, but that was one of the best Telltale games.
I did get burned out on them when they were coming out, like with a ton of them. But I can see myself getting into this now.
The Wolf Among Us was one of the better ones, in my opinion. Yeah. And it's getting a remaster this holiday season. So like if you want to go back and play the first one to get a refresher before you jump into the second one that's coming out next year, you can, which I thought that was a good plan because I don't own it physically and now I'm definitely going to get it. So that was an amazing surprise for me. I mean, I knew they were working on it, but like it had kind of been silent for a while. So that was huge. And then, yeah, just such a cool, like this was what State of Play needed. They just needed a little bit more variety. And this show had it. Like
SGF had had a ton of like launch dates and launch windows. Like almost everything had a decent range of like a good idea of like when we're going to actually be able to play these games, which I think is really important. So I appreciated that aspect as well.
Yeah. I mean, everything, I don't think I saw anything past 2027.
Yeah.
Either.
I mean, so that's good.
This
is the first time I saw that Star Wars Zero Company Tactics game, and it's coming out like in 2 months.
It's in August. Yeah. Which I think is awesome.
Yeah.
And that game looked cool anyway. Like just the fact that it
does look super cool.
Like a Star Wars Tactics game. Like
it looked fun.
Like that has not been like a thing that we've seen
shows
very
up
much.
At the end. Like
yes. Yeah.
Come on, son.
That was a really fun surprise for sure. So this showcase just had everything you want in a gaming showcase.
Yeah, it had the variety.
Period.
Yeah. No, I'm totally in agreement. Like A plus for me. I had to catch up on it because I was hanging out with my kids while I was trying to watch it, and I just didn't feel like that was the responsible dad thing to do. So I needed to pause and come back to it. But I came back in the pre-show. Shout outs to our members who get to check out the pre-show. Was watching through some of these trailers as well and catching up on the show. And yeah, no, I totally agree. I feel like this was finally the first time in a long time where I walked away from a Keighley show and I was like, that was worth it. And it made sense. And the pacing was great. And it was all connected well. The games that they showed, like, okay, first of all, I'm going to go back to that Hot Wheels game for a second. I played the original one. I think it was on the PS1. It was at my friend's house, like we'd play it. But those are some of the most like crazy arcadey racing games ever. They are super fun. And so seeing that trailer, like I was legitimately excited about that. But then like Guild Wars 3 and Ion 2 and these other like classic franchises coming back, I don't know if I'm going to have time for this stuff, but it's still so exciting to see these, and I want to see what they come up with because I was obsessed with those games.
Speaking of racing games, I forgot to mention Clutch, which was revealed by former Forza Horizon developers, which I like. That's the only racing game I really play is Forza Horizon, and I love it. And they're creating like an open world racing game with like a full story mode and everything like that. And that trailer looked awesome. And that's also out like early next year. So yeah, man, there's a lot of surprises coming soon at SGF.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin. Like we had a freaking Gundam game come out or announced.
Reveal. Yeah.
Yep. I'm like looking through the list to see. Oh, the Cuphead sequel. Resident Evil being in there. Like you think about like they have all of these great announcements that are smaller. You know, we had not re-announcement, but like a new trailer for the Star Wars Pod Racer, the new racer game. We have the Star Wars Tactics game. So you got
I
Star
forgot
Wars
about
represented. You got Resident Evil represented. You got Cuphead and like some of the indie things represented. You have all of these different things represented and giving that variety. And then you end with freaking Final Fantasy VII Revelation.
And we should talk about that.
We have to talk about it, dude.
We can talk about that.
I didn't get to that in the showcase because, like I said, I had to pause. So I was looking at a thread on Reddit that was just updating, and they said it. They said Final Fantasy, and I was like, holy crap! So I like looked it up and found the official trailer, but the trailer was only like 2 minutes. So I watched it and I was like, oh, that was a sick trailer. I'm super excited. And then when we were talking in the pre-show, we found the actual video, which is like a 5-minute video, and then got into a bunch of the details. And now I am losing my freaking mind about this game. Like I was losing it on the pre-show, and I'm going to lose it now. Like this one of the things that I said that's fascinating about this project is if they were to do like Final Fantasy IX Remake, which I hope they do, I hope they don't make it a 3-part game. Like that's my wish, is that it will be a one and done and it will be fantastic and amazing. And I love Final Fantasy IX. It's my favorite. But because they went the trilogy route with this game, or with this, with 7, the ability to evolve as a team and perfect the craft by this third game is extremely unique and fascinating to see. Like Remake already had a very, very good combat system that was unique to Final Fantasy, but also felt new and fresh and was more fast paced, and it was fantastic. And then Rebirth like took it up a notch, and you're like, dang, like this is the battle system that they should use. And then they're showing Revelation now, and it's an even more enhanced version of the battle system. It's more fluid, and they've added in basically like classes. What are they calling them again?
Fits.
They're calling them
they're
fits.
Outfit related.
They're outfit related.
So
yeah.
the characters have a cool looking outfit, but it's basically a class. You basically have a job system being added to this already incredible, very Final Fantasy action turn-based battle system that they've crafted, this unique fusion of all of the things Final Fantasy. When you add the jobs in there, like it just felt like this battle system is going to be like a celebration of the entire franchise. Like they nailed it. They figured out a way to take the essence of the entire series and plug it into this battle system. And now I'm looking at that and I'm like, that should be Final Fantasy 17 and beyond. Like I love the idea of like turn-based, like Expedition 33 type influence kinds of things because of how good that was. But like, if you're looking for a modern take on a battle system that still has the identity of Final Fantasy specifically, like this is it. This is like the perfection of it. I never could have imagined that they would have come to what they've come to and what they're showing in this trailer when we first got Remake, because I was already so blown away by Remake. So like that's just one element. Obviously there's a lot more things to talk about, but I was just like, holy smokes, like they are bringing it in a way I did not expect. So yeah, I'll shut up for a minute. You guys go ahead. But
yeah, so after playing Rebirth, I probably put a total of like maybe 200 hours in that game altogether through a couple of playthroughs. And I don't regret a single hour of it. And I always think to myself, I'm like, how would they be able to top this? Because the combat is so polished. It's designed so well.
Yep.
The extra activities, some people will say they're bloated, but they're all fun to me. I like going through and exploring these open areas and unlocking different things, and then adding a little bit of like lore to whatever you got going on, and then searching for whatever new gear you can find, and then like exploring different corners and finding different enemies that you otherwise wouldn't have encountered. And then all the mini games. I love the mini games. Like when you get out there and you can like just do all this wide variety of mini games. Don't even get me started on Queen's Blood
and Chocobo Racing.
And Chocobo Racing. Yeah, I could spend years talking about my love for that card game. Seeing the reveal of Part 3 and the fits, right? The whole like adding a layer of a class system to it, amazing. I need to see that in action. I want to experience that so bad. And then the animations and the combat and like the way that they're like adding different elements and layering things on top of it. I'm like, this is like, they are really perfecting this. And I think Brandon, you made a really good point to see the evolution of like them building on that foundation that they started with in Remake to create something so like insanely good for Part 3. where you've got just this level of innovation and creativity there that is just unreal. So when you talk about like the Final Fantasy IX and you hope it's a one-off, there's just like there's like a development timeline here where like it starts and it ends, and you don't get the opportunity to build on that over multiple development timelines, right? But Final Fantasy VII Remake has had the opportunity to do that. And I think it's like one of the very few instances that has had the opportunity to do that, where it's like they set the precedent up front. This is a 3-part series. We're gonna split Final Fantasy VII into 3 games, and it's probably gonna take us forever to do this, right? And part of me was like, okay, are they just going to kind of like recycle the same engine to get these out quicker, and just like build, like just basically use that same format to like continue the story? They did not do that. They really took the opportunity to make like a fully new game where it doesn't feel like added on DLC or whatever to like the original remake. This like Rebirth felt like a huge step up from Remake, and this game Revelation feels like a gigantic leap forward from even Rebirth. Like when they were showing the ship and they're like, you just set your destination and then you go here, I'm thinking of all the possibilities for that. Man, the 200 hours through 2 playthroughs that I put into Rebirth, I could probably easily put into 1 and Revelations by the way they broke this down. I am immensely excited for this. This is probably my like highest, most anticipated game at this point in time. I say that because
I said next year in spring, like at some point. Nothing else is going to matter. Nothing else is going to matter.
2027. Yep. Everything goes on the shelf that isn't Final Fantasy VII Revelation. This is going to be incredible. I'm so excited for this. And the way they revealed it, look, not enough showcases do breakdowns like this to like either close out a show, or like they don't have the self-awareness to be like, this is a big deal. This is going to hit the fans really hard and people have been waiting for this. Let's give this some time, right? Let's not just like drop some very cinematic heavy 1.5 minute, 2 minute trailer and be like, all right, cool. Everybody's excited for Final Fantasy VII Part 3. We've all known it's existed since the beginning of this trilogy started. So it's really cool to see them be aware of that and understand like this game is coming out soon. In spring 2027, let's really show them what we got. They're confident in what they have. So they're like, let's show them what we got, man. Let's show them 3 or 4 trailers. Let's tell them all about this game. Let's have one of the voice actors come out and talk and narrate through like everything that this game has to offer. And then and put bits and pieces in these trailers that true fans that have played Part 1 and Part 2 are really, really, really going to appreciate. They're really going to dig into. They're really going to try to find like what's going on, what to expect. There's going to be a lot of theorizing and things like that that are going to come from this trailer. So good. Yeah. Like it honestly probably couldn't have been better. So that's
Mags, you need to tell us about the time observation that you made.
Yeah, well, you mentioned development time. I think the interesting thing, and I don't know if they planned this, who knows, but Remake initially released in 2020 and Revelation is going to release in 2027.
Nice
7 years for Final Fantasy VII. It just feels very cool. Right? I feel like it does. And it's good that like if that was planned, they were able to stick to it. Because we know how game development works. It can just be really chaotic and messy and timelines shift and they move and they don't always work out. So the fact is that they were able to do this in that amount of time is really cool and really significant. And it's I'm sure really special to them.
Yeah, it's really impressive given the dev timelines we've been seeing recently. And they've said, like, we have the same team, we're working with the same tools, and so we're able to just like move faster than normal. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm like, I want you guys to take the energy and the experience that you had on this trilogy and bring it back to the core franchise. Because like you guys figured something out here. Like, I don't know if this was the original intent, but y'all figured out a way to take the devs that worked on this and sharpen them through this process and make them capable of delivering the kind of experience that we are seeing announced with Revelation. And I'm just like, yeah, I really want to see them take that expertise, that energy, and bring it back, because like as much as I loved 16, 15 was a wash for me. 16 is not my favorite Final Fantasy as much as I enjoyed like elements of it. 17, I'm like, frankly, I'm a little concerned about whatever 17 is going to be. But them doing this remake trilogy on the side, I'm like, you guys have really figured something out here. Like, again, the battle system, as unique as it is, screams Final Fantasy. Like, this is a Final Fantasy battle system. Like, you have nailed the identity and made it totally new and totally fresh.
And honestly, I just want to say this too. Watching that trailer, watching that reveal at SGF, it just like had some nostalgia for me, where it was just like Final Fantasy's on top again. How long has that been? Right? Where like we're looking at a Final Fantasy game where like it's taking center stage, it's closing out a show, it's getting this long stretch of time at a reveal. People are hyped. Like they're so excited for this. Like it's been so long since I've seen Final Fantasy be framed in that light.
Yep.
So that was
been a hot minute. Cool. Yeah. And then obviously for the game itself, like something we've talked about this, and actually we had this conversation with Professor Noctis. Shout outs to Professor Noctis when we chatted with him at PAX East. Great guy. And we were chatting about the remake trilogy and how they've used this opportunity to bring out aspects of the original vision that they didn't have in the original game. And one of those was Yuffie and Vincent, who allegedly or apparently the original plan was to have them as core characters in the story, and they just didn't have time. So they kept them in the game, but they made them basically side characters. Obviously, in Rebirth, we got Yuffie, and she was a core part of that experience, a core part of the story. But now we're seeing Vincent come in with Cid. And having gone through the whole rabbit hole of Final Fantasy VII, I did the whole compilation. I played Dirge of Cerberus. I watched Advent Children. I did everything that you can think of. I love Vincent. Vincent is an epic character, and so seeing him in action in the trailer and seeing him being integrated into the group the way Yuffie was in Rebirth is so freaking exciting for me. And obviously we've already been seeing hints of like the lore that we got from Dirge of Cerberus into the core game as well, with Deep Crowned and some of the villains. So I am really excited on that front too. And then of course Cid, like I mentioned in the pre-show, like the coolest thing about watching this with Cid is in the original, like Cid was pretty cantankerous and kind of grumpy and kind of mean, but he was a fantastic character, especially in combat. So the way they've handled Cid in this game so far, and the way they've handled his character has been really interesting, because they're kind of like softening him a little bit, but it still feels true to his character. But seeing him in action and then seeing him and Vincent fighting together, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind over here. I was, and again, in the pre-show, I was like freaking out going through this again, but I'm just everything about the way they presented this, everything that we saw in the trailer. Mags was pointing out that some of the character avatars in the Fits menu are basically reflections of what the original characters look like in the menus. And so just the attention, the attention to detail and the way they've sort of perfected this and the way they're bringing it all together. This is going to be an absolutely incredible experience. And you're right, Slam. Like having a Final Fantasy game close out a showcase like this with the kind of hype that it has, with the outing that they showed, like this is very exciting, and this is top tier stuff. Like I'm so ready for this. Like spring 2027 is not that far away, but I feel like it can't come soon enough. Like I
agree.
This is like one of the most anticipated games of all time for me right now. So yeah, very, very. I think we heard someone rumor that it was going to show up in this showcase, but seeing it shown the way that it was, oh my gosh, so freaking good. Like, yeah, the whole show was great. Like, I'm going to say this. If Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was not the closer, I still think it would have been a strong show. But because it was a closer, it made it like an absolute
a million times better
banger, of a show. Absolutely incredible. So, oh man, I could go on, but obviously we're very, very excited, and it makes sense. And Max finally doesn't hate Final Fantasy anymore, so she can join us at this.
And loves Resident Evil.
And she, right, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I actually had a few thoughts I wanted to share real quick before we move on. Yeah, I mean, it makes me super thankful that I was able to start Rebirth before seeing this, because I don't think my excitement level would have been the same at all. And so that's really, like, obviously there's a lot of things that I haven't seen in Rebirth yet, but like you can just tell that they're going all out on this game. Mm-hmm. And it's an interesting thing that you mentioned how this game in particular, it feels like the devs have been able to kind of get refreshed with going back to like the series roots and getting to make this game with more resources and vision than they had initially, like years and years ago when it first came out. I mean, it kind of mirrors Trails in the Sky first chapter. And in fact, that game also helped Falcom devs kind of refresh because they needed a break from continuing the series onward. And so I think that's just a cool thing to think about, how sometimes going backwards can maybe help give you perspective in a creative outlet. And so I really hope that they take the lessons learned from this game and can use them as they move forward with the series, because I don't think Final Fantasy has to be a different game every single time. I think they can bring new things into it, like you were saying. And so I hope that it does, because this is like a really cool example of what they can do. Yeah. And it's exciting to see. I mean, I'm newer to Final Fantasy VII as a whole universe, but it's still just as exciting because the Revelation really looks incredible. And it's neat to see how they started with Remake. And as much as I've seen, even from just playing Rebirth for about 30 hours, the improvement from Remake to Rebirth was so significant that I can't imagine, like, if they're able to improve upon Rebirth into Revelation, like that game's going to be one of the best games of all time.
Yeah.
Like just in general, because there's just that much potential, I guess.
Rebirth was already so freaking mind blowing. And we're looking at something that looks like it's going to blow Rebirth out of the water. I'm like, what do you even do with that? Like that, this game is going to be unbelievable. And that's frankly, that's just not the kind of excitement I have for games a lot of times these days. Like I get excited about games, but like I genuinely think that this is going to be one of the greatest games of all time. Like
if it delivers in the way that we think.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Which is crazy to think about when I think about how much I didn't really enjoy Remake, but it just seems like they've really, really just come so far.
Yeah.
And I'm really
locked
excited.
In and they figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's an amazing thing. And yeah, just again, I hope that they're able to take so much from this experience and pay it forward, not only with just Final Fantasy, but with a lot of other projects that they do.
Yep. Agreed.
Because it's worked so well.
Yeah. I think it puts them in a really interesting, unique situation as a company with their devs and with this team. Like, this is such a strong team. Like, point them in the right direction and let them go. Like, this is going to be your A team right here pulling this off. And what's interesting about it is like the timeline from 15 to 16 was so long. The timeline from really 14 to 15, but it was 13 to 15 was so long, and they were able to get these games out in 7 years. So it's 3 games in 7 years, which is not common for most franchises. But the way they iterated on each of these games, I'm like, again, if you, Square Enix, figure out what you want Final Fantasy to look like, and then just do what this team is doing, but with the next Final Fantasy games, and iterate the way you used to back in the day, right? It can once again become an absolute dominant IP in the market. Because, like, imagine if this was just Final Fantasy 17, 18, and 19. Like,
there's a lot to build
the kind
upon.
of iteration, the kind of iteration, like it's just, we're seeing it justified. We're looking at this being like, oh my gosh, like, again, Rebirth. We were looking at that like, how could this be any better? And we're seeing them be like, hey, we're gonna blow that out of the water. It's crazy. So anyway, very excited about that one. Definitely the big winner, the most exciting for me, I think for all of us, probably for pretty much any of these showcases so far. We've got a lot more to come with Xbox. Nintendo is rumored to come, so we'll find out. But still hoping to see, Persona 6, hopefully. We're still hoping to see, I mean, obviously more we need a Fire Emblem release
Fire
date.
Emblem. Give it to us.
Who knows what else we could see. Nintendo could really bring it. So there's a lot to come, but so far, like, this is a winner for me, for sure.
Cool. Yay.
All right. Slam, what do you think?
Questions?
Do we have a little time for some questions and maybe some other things?
Yeah, I don't think we have too many questions. I'm okay with doing a bonus XP round if you guys are up for it.
All right, word. Let's get through these questions. All right, so we're going to shift to our questions. If you are new here, we have members on the channel who get to submit questions to us for each of these episodes. If you would like to join in membership and support us, we would very much appreciate it. We appreciate all of our members, and obviously join the Discord as well. You don't have to be a member to do that, but we have a lot of fun over there. So please come along and join the chaos. But without any further ado, let's jump in. So first question, Ophidian Mind. Mags, you said you wanted to take this one?
I mean, I can.
Yeah, you should take it.
Okay, I'll read it. So this is Ophidian Mind, what do you think of my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory involving factions fighting for the direction of the server and podcast? Is this good lore? Well, one, I would say it's always good lore, right? The lore of our server is endless and will just continue to spread and expand throughout time. But the lore in question is Ophidian created this scenario where we were all in Fire Emblem 3 houses and we were all fighting against each other. And we had different strengths to offer our forces. So, Brandon, you would have your tactical RPG experience and expertise. I would have the potential to amass an army so large it could win from sheer numbers.
It's true.
And then, let's see, what was the last? And then Slam.
I have it pulled up. He said
he's the mastermind behind it all. The whole Slam's not really a tactics guy, was just a way to deflect suspicion from him.
So he's
as he worked on his machinations behind the scenes.
And then he added, what was it? Maybe he was a shadow agent assisting with all of this. He was acquainted with Slam before he even met Brandon. So some mysterious guy from Slam's past enters this community, manages to get himself into a mob position where he could easily gather intel that would be useful to our agenda.
So, what do we think about this lore, and do we think that it's accurate?
I mean, feel a little... got the short end of the stick over here. He's like, yeah, you like tactics games, Brandon. But Mags, can have an army that will destroy you all, and Slam is straight up ninja over here, gathering all the info and manipulating all of the situations. So yeah, sure, that's great, Laura. I'm just the big doofus over here. That's fine. Yeah, I'll take it.
I think he was
the Fire Emblem thing is that you are the ultimate tactics Fire Emblem guy, so you have the biggest advantage.
That's what he was saying. Like, it's just like Brandon would be the winner, but Mags and Slam have a chance because of these things. I think that was initially
when you put it like that, I like it. Yeah.
So,
but I think obviously I would win because I am actually a tactics guy. So I'm a tactics guy.
But he's just saying
running a psyop apparently.
Yep.
And I've got like ninjas on my side, building me an army, and
the problem is Mags could
pinning Mags and Brandon against each other.
This part I forgot to read. With her passionate conviction and charisma, she might even be able to convince some of Brandon's soldiers to defect and join her cause.
Brandon's? What about Slam's?
No one knows I have soldiers yet because I'm not really a tactics guy.
Well, but Mags has such charisma, she would get him anyway.
See, it says here.
Oh, wait, here's more. However, the master tactician that he is, Brandon may form a strategic alliance with Slam to get massive numbers on his side as well.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
That's
this
accurate.
Just got
that probably
real.
Would happen.
Yeah, that would happen.
I know it would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would happen.
Yeah. So,
especially with some of those zingers like from the pre-show where I was like, I hate Slam because of how gorgeous he is and he makes me jealous all the time. He's such a good-looking guy.
Yeah, he does do that all the time.
Butter up Slam like a slice of bread. Since we love bread,
we love bread on this podcast.
We love bread here. Slices of bread.
Slices of bread. Yeah, when you put them together with
butter, garlic bread.
PB&J. Yeah. Oh, garlic bread.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Love me some garlic bread.
Anyway, I think this is excellent lore, and
I think it's great.
It's worth considering what the outcome would be. So thank you, Ophidian, for sharing with us.
Yeah,
this new record, or
that's probably the most unique, in-depth, unexpected question we've had on this segment so far. So shout outs. That was great.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, we're gonna move on to Bean Cake. I said, now that we have accumulated quite a few members, you all should think of a name for your members. What should we be called? But before we answer, the beginning of the next question by Relix I find interesting because I don't know if this was planned, but he starts with, was Legacies?
Not a bad name.
Legacies.
Yeah. I think he answered it on accident, maybe? I don't know.
Perhaps.
We'll go with that for now.
You can let us know in the comments how this came about.
Any other ideas?
Yeah.
That anyone has?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I mean, I feel like it's only fair to ask the members what they would want to be called.
Yeah.
Like they should have a say.
Fair.
So let us know in the comments or in the Discord.
Yep. Let us know. All right. Shout outs to Relix, by the way. He said, have y'all noticed how certain JRPG towns or hub areas feel nostalgic even on a first playthrough? What do you think developers are subconsciously tapping into psychologically to create that feeling of missing a place you've never been? Or some may know it as nostalgia maxing.
I like that.
I love this guy.
Love this guy. Question.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that yes, I've definitely noticed that JRPGs do this. And I think they want, in a way, to make the starting area feel like home to you as the character. Because so many JRPGs that we play, you kind of start out where your character has always been, right before they have to head off on some kind of journey, right? Wherever it ends up taking them, however, whatever forces are at play. So I think that they want to invoke this feeling of even if you don't spend a lot of time in the game actually there, they want it to have that feeling where it feels like you have to kind of trick your mind. And I think they do it with music. I think they do it with perhaps the architecture of the homes and just because a lot of the time it's like a village or it's a smaller town compared to a metropolis that you might go to eventually. And so I think they just really try to invoke like this cozy feeling through the aesthetics and the sounds and just the overall like vibe, because it provides a good jumping off point to your journey. It kind of has that contrast.
I think those towns also set the tone for the entire like set piece, right? I think Dragon Quest is a perfect example of a game that does this incredibly well. You have the first, like, these JRPGs in general, the first town, like you said, Mags, you nailed it. But then like the towns that you encounter after that, I actually always get really excited to see like what the next town I'm going to run into. And then that like overarching sweep over the town or whatever is always so cool to see.
Yeah.
But then you realize you're like, ooh, the town kind of sets the tone. You realize, oh, what am I going to encounter next? What is the next like 5 to 8 hours of this game going to be like?
Yeah.
Based on this town. And I think there is some psychological stuff too. You got to realize that a lot of these developers and fans that are creating these have nostalgia for these games too. Like they love these games, they grew up on them, and we share a lot of that nostalgia. They're trying to tap into their favorite things, what they grew up on, what connected with them, just like we are. And I think a lot of us as JRPG fans kind of have, you know, a love and adoration for the stories and the characters and the like history and the lore and everything around that. And I think it adds to the world building, and these towns like that just are essential for all of that. So I think that for JRPGs, a lot of these developers that are creating these, they prioritize those type of things because they realize that themselves.
Yeah. I think the only thing that I would add, because I think it's all well said, the only thing that I'd add is not occasionally, for a lot of these, you also have like familial elements that might be nostalgic. Like sometimes the parents are involved and there's cozy hometown meals being made. And there's like, you know, the girl next door kind of trope that you get a lot of times, or you have your friends, or, you know, just different things like that in the town.
Trope.
Yeah. Your childhood friend trope. Yeah. And those kinds of things can often give you a sense of comfort and nostalgia as well. So yeah, that's a
cool question.
This guy always coming in with these like psychological, how are they getting you?
Yeah.
All right.
That's good stuff.
Let's go to the last question. Then this one is Medic on Ice. Shout outs. Hey guys, always fun to ask some questions. So we all have that game that we feel like we just got to play at the perfect time in our lives and it left a lasting impact. But what game do you feel the opposite about? You just played at the wrong time and you felt like it didn't land with you, or you had to drop it and walk away? I know Mag's answer.
Which one do you think I'm going to say? I'm just curious.
Dragon Quest XI.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. And I know I've mentioned it on here before. I just don't think at the time I had the appreciation of some of the like elements that it had that I do now. So I do feel like I'd like to try it again for that reason. Because at the time, gosh, this had to be like 6 or 7 years ago. I just don't think I had quite the same appreciation of certain things. Like the combat and like the way that JRPG stories are told. I think that if I went back, I'd probably have a lot more patience with it, because one of the issues I had was just, I felt like it was just pretty slow and it was hard for me to stick with because it started so slow. So yeah.
See, it was a legit. I didn't say Resident Evil. I could have, but I didn't.
Well, and I was actually thinking of The Last of Us, because I really wanted to play this game.
Okay.
And I'd heard everybody talking about it and they were like, oh, the story's so good. Like, it's just amazing. And it got so many awards. And I didn't play it on, because it came out on PlayStation 3, I think first, right?
Yep.
So I got the PS4 version because I had a PS4 Pro. And I tried it and I just like, I just couldn't get with the gameplay. It was just too scary. Like it, and not that like it's like the scariest game of all time or anything like that, but just kind of like the stress of it. Like I wasn't having fun. And so I kind of
builds tension well.
Yeah, I walked away from it for that reason, just because I don't mind games that have like, intense situations. I mean, those things happen in JRPGs too, but just the way that it was kind of set up was just not my thing.
All right, Slam. What you got, homie?
I mean, this is a hard one because I don't know if I have a real answer here.
Final Fantasy 15, because he loved it when he came back.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I liked it even less, actually. I thought maybe I'll like this game more if I return to it, and I was like, maybe I hated it the right amount,
even less.
Yeah, maybe I hated it the right
if
amount.
That's possible.
I'll say maybe Elden Ring.
Okay.
So I like Dark Souls games. I play them usually as they come out. I'm usually pretty hyped for these games, and I do like kind of set things aside, and I prioritize a lot of the games at release because I just really enjoy playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Elden Ring I picked up at release, and I don't know what it was. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that type of game at the time, but like everyone loved it. I could see that it was an amazing Souls game, that it was something really special, but I had a hard time getting into it. Like, and I picked it up like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, man, I just like, this is not vibing with me right now. But I think it was last year I picked it up and I could not put it down. I like played it nonstop for a stretch of maybe a month, and I beat it. Put a ton of time into it. Absolutely love and adore that game. There's still a million things I can do in it. And honestly, when it comes to Switch 2, I might even pick it up for like like a Souls game that I could like just dip in and out of, explore the open world, do a lot of things that I didn't do in the playthroughs that I have done before. But I think if I had to pick one, it's probably Elden Ring.
For me, it was definitely Final Fantasy Tactics, because when I first got that game, I hated it, which is funny because now it's one of my favorite games of all time. But I hated it. I didn't understand it. It was the first true tactics game I had tried at that point in my life. And I just remember when I got it, it's because I saw it at a Walmart. Like they had those cases with all the games, and it was like in the bottom corner on sale. It was like $10. And I was like, oh, Final Fantasy. Like I'm starting to get into Final Fantasy. It was when I first started playing the games. And it was one summer, and I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. I plopped it in, and the Chocobo murdered me immediately.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is so freaking hard. I don't understand it. Like I can't. So I put it down, and I had a buddy of mine named Steele, who for his birthday, he used to go to the beach. And he invited me over several years, and we went, and he was telling me about how much he loved that game. So he was like, here, let's play it together, and we'll just like swap characters. So we did like 2-player. And he showed me the ropes, and we just got way into it. Like once I began to understand it, I was then obsessed with the game. And then they came out with War of the Lions on the PSP, and I locked into that game so hard. I was absolutely obsessed. And I was devastated because the only reason I stopped playing it was because on the last 4 levels, which they fixed this in the Evil East Chronicles, but on the last 4 levels, if you saved in there, you were stuck.
That's
you
right.
couldn't get back out to the world map, and that screwed up multiplayer. Because if you were back on the world map and you can keep grinding and do different things, you could play multiplayer and stuff like that, which I did with Steel, and I couldn't do it anymore because I locked myself out, which was a bummer. But I did absolutely love that game. Obviously, to this day, Tactics is very high on my list. So it really was just I didn't have a good grasp of the concept, and once I did, I locked in real fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it for the questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Thanks for the questions, guys.
To the members.
Yeah.
Shout outs to the members. Always giving us great questions.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to do a quick keep 5 cut 5 bonus XP round?
Let's do it. Let's get it in.
I'll host it. All right, we'll go through these.
Brandon,
you
I'm
and
scared.
Mags will work together. Keep 5 cut 5. I'm gonna go down.
He's gonna
the
make
list,
this
right?
brutal. Yeah.
I know.
Are you guys ready?
I'm worried.
You guys ready for this?
We're ready.
Final Fantasy 13.
Ooh, he did that on purpose.
I know he did. He wants to sow discord.
And it's the first one too.
I know.
It's a no for me, but I mean,
I know it's a no for you.
Max.
I know that's just your opinion. Like, it's not, obviously I don't fault you for that.
and let me be very clear. It's because we are playing Keep 5 Cut 5 and he started with this freaking game. So that's one of the reasons I'm saying no. I like 13. I give it a lot of crap, especially with these two because they like it so much and I like giving them crap because I love them. But it's a no for me because he started with this one for a reason. And I feel like that means that there could be some really contentious spots in the future. So that's my pitch for a no.
It hurts me, but I'll do it.
Cutting it.
Cut. We still love
Final
you, Final
Fantasy
Fantasy
13. Cut.
I'm
13
sorry,
Sentinels, Aegis Rim.
Oh, we're keeping this one.
Yeah, I'll keep that.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping this one. You still need to play it.
I know, but like I know the pedigree that we're talking about here. So I'm like, yeah. Wouldn't regret that at all.
Incredible. Yeah. Okay, good.
Next one up. Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, let's cut it. Let's cut it.
Doing that.
Yeah.
If we had to cut 13, we're cutting that.
Yeah. For Mag's sake, I can cut that one for sure.
Thank you.
Next up, Tales of Arise.
I would cut it.
Do you really think he's gonna have like games that are like that much better than this one? Like, it's like really, really good.
Of the games that we can potentially have on this list, especially we don't know if Slam's going to repeat franchises. I'm like, if we add Tales of Arise, we only have 3 more spots.
But you also, if you cut it, you only have 2 more cuts.
That's true. We've already cut 2.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, of all the games that you could say, I don't feel like Tales of Arise is like that strong of a content. Like, I would have rather had Final Fantasy 13 than Tales of Arise.
Well, it's too late for that.
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying.
That.
Like if I cut 13, then like I'm okay with cutting Arise because I would have preferred 13.
I'm just worried that they're not going to be as good as you think they are.
This?
Yeah. But we don't know.
What do you guys think? Keep or cut?
I don't know.
I guess
we're cutting it.
Yeah, I stick with
cutting it. So Final Fantasy 13 cut, 13 Sentinels keep, Xenoblade X cut, Tales of Arise cut. Next up, Persona 5 Royal.
Keep. See what I'm saying? You see, Max? Come on now.
We'll see.
Next up, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance.
Oh, we're keeping it.
Yeah.
Easy.
Wait, so we only have 1 keep left.
No, we have 2.
You
right?
had 2.
Oh, we have 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 2 of each now.
You've cut 3, keep 3.
Okay. Good to know. Just making sure.
Next up, Dragon Quest XI.
That's obviously keep for me, but
that's obviously cut for me.
Yeah.
That was totally on purpose.
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry, but if we cut Tales of Arise and Final Fantasy 13.
No, that's fair. That's fair. It's fair. I would keep it, but we've already cut some of those that you were more excited about than I was. So I'm willing to cut it. But let the record show that Mags needs to play Dragon Quest XI again, and it is one of the greatest like Switch RPGs and certainly one of the greatest Dragon Quest games.
I will try to get a code for it for Switch 2.
There you go.
And if I can, I'll figure out a way to get it, obviously. But
we can phrase this so this is advantageous for us. Ready? Mags, I'll cut it if you get a code for Switch 2 and you play it.
Okay. That works for me.
Done.
Deal.
All right. Next
Side
up.
deals.
Wheeling and dealing.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Ooh, he did 2. He did freaking 2.
I know. That's not fair. Because
I'm not going to have all of them be too easy for you guys.
They've not been easy at all.
We have one more cut.
Yeah.
So you have 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have one more cut.
One more cut and 2 more keeps. It had to be 2. If it was 1 or 3, this would be way easier.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I know, that's why I did it. Because we're both just like,
Max, what do you think?
Well, if we cut it, we have to keep whatever the next 2 are. If we keep it, even though it's not our favorite, and I understand why, we would still have an option to keep and cut the next. So we still have a choice.
This is what I'm afraid is going to happen because it's freaking Slam Zany and he has now repeated Xenoblade. The next one is going to be Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
I'm worried. I'm
and then
totally
there's going to be
worried.
one left.
I'm just saying that if we cut it, we have to take the next 2 regardless of what they are.
That's true. I'm for the sake of figuring out what Slam is doing here, because we can remember this for next time. We're going to psychologically analyze him. I am a proponent of cutting 2 and seeing what happens, but I'd be interested to hear your take.
I mean, I don't love Xenoblade Chronicles 2 enough to like hate that, like I totally understand. Because like if I think about Tales of Arise, I would much rather have Tales of Arise or Final Fantasy 13. So I'm fine with cutting it. I'm just a little concerned about what we're going to have, but we can just roll the dice and see.
Yeah, we can only do one at a time. I think we should cut it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
All right. Cut.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cuts. So you got to keep these next 2.
All right.
Right.
One at a time.
First keep, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Okay. It's a good one.
And last keep, Trails of Cold Steel.
Oh, we did it, Max. We did it. We did it. Yes.
Yay.
So your keeps are 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and Trails of Cold Steel.
Solid.
Your cuts are Final Fantasy 13, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Tales of Arise, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and Dragon Quest XI. They clearly hate Xenoblade Chronicles. They cut all of the Xenoblade games.
You picked the 2 that we don't love.
You clearly picked the 2 that we wouldn't immediately agree on. Yeah.
That's so funny. That was good though. That was a good list.
I'm happy with the outcome of that.
Yeah.
I feel like we got him.
I think so.
Well, that's it.
That's
it,
everybody.
All right. So thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for sticking around, especially if you're still here. We will definitely be back. But Slam, where can everybody find you?
Slam Zany on all the things, YouTube mainly. Recently, I put up a video of beginner JRPGs, but I also included games that are not good for beginners. And yeah, go check that out. But you can also find me on this podcast.
That's crazy. I was not expecting
I can't believe
that.
It. Shocked.
Would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Never guessed.
Mags, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Avenger Mags on Twitter and Blue Sky. I am tweeting my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth right now. Just posting short clips of it, nothing too spoilery or anything, but just fun reactions to what's happening in the game, and that's been a good time. There's been a lot of like back and forth with other fans, and so that's been a lot of fun. And then you can also find me as a staff writer at Nintendo Force Magazine. And we are finishing up our July-August issue, so that's pretty exciting, and keep an eye out. Oh, and you can find me right here on this podcast.
On this podcast and making spaghetti.
Nobody
and I'm Retro
known.
Brandon, and you can find me at Retro Brandon and on YouTube and at Nova Brand on Twitter. And you can also find me on this podcast here as well. So,
all right.
With all of that, thanks for joining us. We'll see you all in the next one.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
Later.